All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 66 of Pozios Picks. And first of all, it feels so good to be back in action. I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's been a while, so just in case you guys are new to the show, welcome. My name is Theo. I do this show with my brother Max. He's not going to be on today just because he's not the biggest NBA guy, especially when it comes to betting. But we're just going to get right into things here. So, as you guys can see, also our first ever video episode. I'm very excited about that, especially going forward. On today's episode, I'm going to do a complete breakdown of the NBA Finals for you guys. And of course, there's going to be some betting picks for you guys as well. So, without further ado, let's just get right into things. So, the NBA Finals, Boston Celtics taking on the Golden State Warriors. Youth versus experience in this matchup. Obviously, the Warriors coming off of that beat down of the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. And the Celtics squeaking by the Heat, especially at the end there in 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think this is going to be a fantastic series. Hopefully one that we're going to look back on for a long time. So, I want to get into specifically what I think each team needs to do to win this series. Both of these teams obviously have a shot to win this, or else they wouldn't be here. But we can look at the Vegas odds; they agree as well. Warriors are minus 160 to win it all, and the Celtics are plus 135. Very close odds. Anything can happen in this one. So I first want to start with the Celtics and what I think they need to do personally to win this series. So, the Celtics have looked great ever since the middle of January. A lot of people don't remember, this Boston team was 500 in the middle of January. And since January 30th, they are 37-12 on their road to the finals, which is crazy. This is a very good Boston team, and they have the pieces to win it. They just need to make sure they can put those pieces together. I've got 3 key pieces for the Celtics if they want to win this series. Number 1, they really need to limit the turnovers. Boston is averaging 14 turnovers per game this playoff run, and they've been really lucky in some cases that they haven't been burned off of those turnovers. If there's one team in the NBA that's going to burn you, especially getting out in transition on the break, it's the Warriors. Everyone knows that. They're going to get out in transition. They're going to find their spots. And they've got the greatest shooter ever, maybe the greatest 2 shooters ever on their team. So that is not going to work out well for them if they turn the ball over. They have to limit those turnovers. Number 2, at all costs, they need to limit the cold streaks. This kind of goes with the turnovers as well. We've seen them come in bunches, but I noticed particularly in the Miami series, this Boston team likes to settle for three-point jumper after three-point jumper, and you're simply not going to outshoot the Warriors. So they need to drive to the basket, find those favorable matchups that they probably will have, especially if the Warriors go small and they run Horford and Grant Williams or Horford and Robert Williams. They're going to have favorable matchups down low. They need to get to the basket, get into the paint, and once they do that, they will have those good looks outside. But they need to make sure they establish dominance in the paint so they can carry that out, get the ball outside, and work from there. Number 3, and most importantly, I think this is what's gotten them there, continue to trust and believe in Jason Tatum. Tatum has easily cemented himself into the top 10 of the best players in the entire league this season. That trust he's gained from his teammates has changed everything for him and for the Celtics. Tatum has been doing a great job of creating, not forcing things, and that has in turn opened up things for Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, and the rest of the team to do what they do. You need a clear number 1 guy on the team if you're going to win a title, and Tatum is that guy for the Celtics. So they need to make sure they can rely on him. Not too much, obviously, but get him the ball when he needs to. He needs to be aggressive and honestly win this series for Boston. So those are the three things I think the Celtics need to do to win the title. Let's move on to the Warriors really quickly. This breakdown isn't going to be as long because I personally think the Warriors are going to win. So I don't really think they have to do too many things out of the ordinary to do so. Number one for the Warriors, continue to run things through Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. Curry and Draymond have done an incredible job of moving the basketball, creating great looks for not only Steph, but the rest of the guys as well. Of course, the Warriors can shoot. It's the Warriors. But it's really incredible to see how many layups and dunks and points in the paint this team gets off of ball screens, fake ball screens, slips, all that stuff, just because of all the action and attention that Steph and Draymond garner. Obviously, Draymond isn't the main threat, but him with the ball, they know that Steph's moving. The attention is all on Steph. That's what creates those opportunities for them. We've seen guys like Andrew Wiggins, especially in this postseason, have a ton of success simply because he's playing that role, getting to the basket, cutting to the rim, getting easy buckets, and letting Steph and Draymond create for him. So, if the Warriors can continue to do that, they've got a really good shot. Number two, very simple, get Clay going early, especially early in games. We saw it in the Dallas series. He really, really struggled in the first half of games, and then he'd turn up in that second half, and that's what would win them the game. I think they need to focus on him a little bit more on offense, run some things for him. I know he's still coming off of injury, and he's not 100%, but we've seen it when Clay gets going early. We saw it in Game 6 in Memphis. We saw it in the elimination game in Golden State. When he gets going early, this team's unbeatable because he gets hot. That in turn puts the attention on him. Steph gets open, hits a couple. Jordan Poole's able to go to the basket. All those things. When Clay plays well, this team plays well. Simple as that. If they can get him going early, they win the series, no problem. Number three, and lastly, the Warriors need to capitalize on those mistakes, use their experience. Boston's going to make mistakes. They're a young team, and if Golden State can capitalize on those things, it's over. Like I said with Boston, they need to limit all those things because if they don't, this thing's done. Draymond's going to take over the game. I think a lot of people sleep on Draymond's ability to really control a game on both sides of the ball. He's easily the smartest player in the NBA, in my opinion. So you got to remember, a lot of these younger guys on Boston have only played against Draymond and the Warriors a handful of times in their career. So they're not going to be ready for that. It's going to be hard for them to adjust. If the Warriors can capitalize on those mistakes and Boston trying to make those adjustments, it's going to be a long series for Boston. That's it for the breakdown part. Let's get into the part that everybody's been waiting for, the betting picks. So my first pick is going to be the Warriors to win the title. Flat out, minus 160, $16 to win 10, 160, 100. You guys know the deal. Remember, I gave this out back in December, plus 600, so we're riding that. But I got to give out an official pick. Warriors to win the title. It is currently minus 160, around there. I've got it at plus 600, and I'm going to take a little bit more as well, but I'm going to hedge a little bit. I'm going to hedge a little bit later in the series. Hopefully I get the opportunity to. But I really think the Warriors are the better team in this series. Ultimately, that experience that I talked about is just going to be too much for this Boston team. To go along with that, I'm taking Curry to win Finals MVP. It's around even money, depending on what book you use. The classic argument against Steph is that he's got 4 rings, no Finals MVPs. I think if they win it this year, they just have to give it to him. He really is the most valuable player on this team, especially with how the offense runs through him. So, Warriors to win the title and Steph to win Finals MVP are my 2 picks there. Couple of value plays for you guys that I really, really like. I'm going to be adding series correct score in here. First of all, I like the series spread at minus 1.5. That's obviously the Warriors to win by 2 games. That is at about plus 150, depending on what book you're on. But I like this value a little bit better. I'm going to take the Warriors to win in 6 or 7 games. The Warriors to win 4-2 is plus 500. That's them to win in 6 games. And the Warriors to win in 7 games, 4-3, is plus 350. So that adds a little bit more value and takes away that spread if they happen to win in 7 games. That is going to do it for today's episode. I know it was a lot of information, but I really, really appreciate you all for tuning in. This should be a really, really awesome final series. I can't wait to see how it pans out, and hopefully we can cash some of those bets as well. Like I said, our first video episode ever. So if you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel down below. Also, be sure to follow us on Pickit at Pozios Picks to see every single time we take a bet throughout the series. You can turn on post notifications on Pickit now, so every single time that we take a bet, you can see it right away. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Pozios Picks as well. We're going to be doing a giveaway at some point during these NBA Finals. We always do a giveaway for big games, so make sure you're following us over there to be entered into the giveaway when we eventually end up doing it. Again, thank you guys for listening. A lot of exciting things coming up here. We will see you guys in the next one.